Friday morning. You know what that means? Another movie review roundtable. This Friday's movie is The Social Network. And I mean, if the commercials have brilliant and excellent and giant bold letters, it must be true, right?
Aaron Sorkin, who's awesome. David Fincher, who's fucking brilliant. So hopefully it'll be awesome.
I have high expectations about this movie. I think it could potentially be amazing, so I'm going to be very critical of it. It better live up to my expectations.
I think it's going to be an interesting study in up-and-coming businesses, and the way that the internet can dictate how your company goes is going to be fascinating to me.
I was not disappointed by that movie. I was not. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am so glad that David Fincher directed it, because I think that made it what it was. I could see his hand in it a little bit, and I really appreciated it.
It was really awesome. I mean, Aaron Sorkin's dialogue alone is like it's like he's an editor himself, and I think his dialogue combined with Fincher, you know, I mean, it doesn't disappoint. It's like really fast-paced. It moves right along, and I love it. I kind of dug how the fact that Facebook, even in its infancy, was about exclusivity and how important it and how much it affected people even back then. I thought that's really cool.
I too was not disappointed in the movie, yay, which makes me happy. I kind of watched it for a different reason, and it's because we're in our infancy in our company, and I wanted to kind of see what happened.
It's like that true story, like, you know, you watch like a movie based on a real story and you're like, oh, it's real, and that like adds up, but like this is like so, like, you know this story, or you at least know, well, you might not know like the events, but you at least know, I mean, you know Facebook, and you know like how it works, and you know, I don't know, it kind of brings the reality of it to a whole nother level, I feel like, which is kind of cool.
I really liked, you know, and normally I crack jokes at every one of these round tables, but to get serious for a minute, I love the fact that the dude had all the money in the world and all the intelligence that anyone could ever ask for, but at the end he was just lonely and wanted someone. At the end of the movie, I'm not going to ruin it, but you see that, like, it started with that and it bookended with that, and he kept, you know, it was just like, I was like, that's powerful, that's awesome.
Everything that he put in this movie, everything that was written in this movie, everything that the director chose to put in this movie was important. Every single thing. Yeah. It's not fair when you gotta pee. But I was actually a little disappointed at the end. I kind of, not disappointed, because I just kind of guess in movie world we want this big grand ending, and it just kind of ended, and that kind of sucked, because it's not like a happy ending, really.
I think I expected that. I mean, what kind of grandiose ending can you give a story about Facebook? Facebook, like they say in the movie, is constantly evolving and constantly growing, and sometimes that irritates me because I'm a creature of habit, and on the site itself I'm like, oh, stop changing things. But, you know, watching the behind the scenes and why they change things, it makes sense to me now, so maybe I'll be a little less angry with Facebook when they change stuff.
One thing I really liked about it was that this actually goes against what I was expecting. I kind of thought that it was going to be a bunch of like that, like, inside jokey pun, like, oh, you're on Facebook and it's like this, and it's like, oh, haha, we're all on Facebook, we're all in on the joke. It actually wasn't that at all. There was a few of those like subtle things which I appreciated, but that's not what it was. I mean, you could have somebody that has never heard of Facebook, if you could find that person and have them watch this movie, and I think they would get something out of it.
Love it, totally.
Yeah, because it's a case study. It really is, and it's fascinating. I want to Google all of these real people and see what their faces look like. I like really, now I want to. I've never wanted to.
That Eduardo does not look like Spider-Man.
Gorgeous, the most gorgeous man in the world.
That's the new Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
That's going to be the new. Yeah, he's going to be the new Peter Parker.
Oh my God, he is so hot. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I didn't get.
How do we feel about this situation? I mean, are you with, you know, whose team are you on? Did he steal it?
I can get Mark's point of view, having run my own companies and such, but I do think what he did was pretty douchebaggy if he did what they showed on the screen, but I can also see, you know, Eduardo wanting to go a completely different way. Like, how do you handle that? I think that how they handled it was totally crap, but I can kind of, you know, like, stuff like that happens. But I actually wanted to touch on something that was said previously about it being an interesting case study, and I think that everyone going into business and everyone in business school, I think they're going to watch this movie and study it and pull it apart. It's fascinating to me.
Before the movie, I just kind of had this, having read about the story myself, the actual story, I just had this attitude that he was a jerk, that he was just a straight up asshole. But this movie, I think, kind of just humanized this public figure that everybody has kind of come to know as not a person. And I think that that gave it a really interesting perspective, because all of a sudden he's just a freaking kid that doesn't know anything about anything and is just trying to get into some popular club at school.
They set it up from the beginning that he's super genius. So anybody who thinks, you know, who's that smart and thinks in that way, they're going to be socially awkward, because they're going to take everything you say literal, and it's just going to be a different world, which I don't understand, because I'm probably like a 300 or something on that. I'm creative type. But I thought that was great, and I think that Jesse Eisenberg, I actually did not, like, I hated him in this movie. I mean, like, I loved him. I thought he was great as an actor, but I hated this character. I was like, this guy's a dick. I had to keep reminding myself how much I loved him in Zombieland and how sweet he was, which it shows that he's actually a really good actor.
It's definitely not Michael Cera, who's been typecast now. Jesse's got range, you know, and he plays the same kind of nerdy character, but he does it in such a way where he actually has range. Michael Cera plays awkward. He's been playing George Michael since the beginning,
right?
Which I think is, you know, I mean, I can't see him going any further with that, but I actually want to see the dude break out, you know. But I think Jesse Eisenberg did a damn good job. I see this being up for a couple Oscars at the end of this season.
Yeah, I think
this one or
this one.
Really?
Yeah, this would be up for a couple Oscars. Probably best screenplay, maybe best picture if they still keep the 10. Yeah, because it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes last I checked. So.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was. I seriously was worried that it wasn't gonna live up to my expectations, but it really did. Justin Timberlake.
The jury's still out on that one.
Yeah. I don't know if it was him or the character. I don't know, because I feel like I liked the character. Like that was such a charismatic person that was like so.
But he was a dick.
Yeah, but it was an interesting character. But something about it was like, meh. I could totally do without you. And I don't know if it was Justin Timberlake or if it was the character. I don't know which one it was.
I think it was, and this is just obviously my opinion, but I think it was just that they didn't show a lot of him. So, and it was such a powerful character that when he did come on the screen, you're kind of like, wait, what's his story?
Yeah.
You know, and so maybe that didn't serve the film overall, and that's why we're feeling a little on the fence about it, but I think he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought Justin Timberlake, I think he was good in Black Snake Moan. I think he's coming into his own, but PJ I was sitting next to, he was like, the dude had to fight for that role. He had to audition like several times just to get it because he wanted it that bad. And I thought he did fine, because like the thing is, it's not a Sean Parker movie, it's not about Napster. Right. It's a movie about Facebook, and so it just showed the part that he played. Like, we know Sean Parker's story. This is Mark Zuckerberg's story.
That's what it was. It was tight all around. The direction was great, the writing was great, the acting was great.
The editing was great.
The editing, oh my god, it was amazing.
The entire movie. Now, I just want to shoot myself. The editing, the conversation at the beginning was so tightly energized, and it was based on those two characters and the dichotomy between them. I don't want to sound like a pompous asshole or anything. Fucking editing blew my mind.
Dude, I know. How do you even edit that way?
Yeah.
How do you do
That's insane. I want to go home and just I'm so sure.
People having a conversation interesting. They did it.
It was quick. It was tight. It was
so good at the beginning.
Yeah. It was definitely a good movie.
I think it's a great movie. I think it's well edited, well paced, well done. Good job, you guys. Thumbs up all around. And I would highly recommend this movie. I would come out and see this flick like right now.
Go. Right now. Just go. That's it. You have to go.
Say go and Facebook about going, and then Facebook about coming home and your thoughts afterwards. It's a great movie, and I think it's an amazing case study if you're at all interested in business, as well as just a great film. It was great.
So beyond being about a website that consumes our lives, It's a solid movie. I mean, I will be putting this on Facebook, and I hope that you guys will all comment on our roundtable as you watch it on as it's posted on Facebook. Our lives are all about Facebook, but it doesn't even matter. This movie could have been about some, you know, it could have been about candy bars, and it didn't matter. It's character driven. The directing is fantastic. The writing is fantastic. This is the start of the fall movies. Go check it out.